Hello everyone and welcome to the beautiful surroundings of Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. We are here to do a little pre-race for the new season in the Super Mixed. We have been running the Super Mixed for a couple of seasons. We had a break now for about half a year, a little bit more than half a year. So just to get things started, we're doing a 35-minute race. Normally the Super Mixed is 75 minutes, but we just wanted to get build a little bit of a warm-up race. So in the Super Mixed, in the first race we are doing using 5 different cars, and we're going to have a look at the cars that are involved. First out we have one of the slower cars. It's a Ford StecRacer. It's a very light car, has a 1.6 liter engine, fun to drive, could be a little bit rear happy, a little bit loose, especially when you don't have the setups done right. Next car is the Mazda MX-5, and the MX-5 and the Ford StecRacer, they do just about the same lap times here. I think that the MX-5 is a tiny bit faster, a second or so, second and a half perhaps, as we will see in the race. Next out is the Volkswagen Jetta TDI, and this is a front-wheel drive car, 2-liter turbo engine, and this car is a couple of seconds faster than the Mazda, and not so good acceleration, surprisingly good road holding actually. So let's move over to the next car. Next up is the Barber, and this is a proper race car, as you can see, and the lap times of the Barber is a little bit faster than the Jetta TDI. So we're going to see some fights between these two. Of course, the Skippy is a little bit faster around the bends, but the Jetta is a little bit faster on the straights. Fastest car on the grid is the Ford Mustang. It's a V8 engine, and they have not so good brakes, as you will see, and but they have a lot of top speed. Handling is fairly okay. It's a couple of seconds faster than all of the other cars. So the Mustangs will be up in the first positions on the grid. We are lined up on the grid, and as you can see, we have Mustangs 1, 2, and 3, then a Barber that jammed in there on 4th, and then a Mustang again. And we're going to do a little bit of a driver presentation, just going to get this race going. And here we have the green lights, and the cars are off. We have Mustang, Barber, Mustang, and then we have a little bit back in the field, and here we have a little bit of bump between one that was Dwayne Bensinger that got a little bit bumped by one of the Ford StecRacers. He had unfortunately had his suspension damaged, so he went into the wall. You had to take a quick tow into bits and do some repairs. So going up the hill, approaching T1, usually it gets a little bit crowded in here. The first cars, they take off, but as I said before, Ford StecRacer and the Mazdas are equally matched, or closely matched anyway, so it gets a little bit crowded the first lap here, but everything seems to be working out nicely. Had one incident only, which is good if you compare to the official series, where we're going to have many crashes. So we're going to look through the field a little bit. First we're going to go up and have a look at the cars in the top of the field on lap 1. Baslob was in pole position, got off the line very well, so he is in the lead, and he is followed by Klaus Petersen, Karsten Rudolph. Then we have Skippy, David Granil, and followed by Richard Brightwell. So I would say that Richard and David are going to be in the top fight, I'm pretty sure. So now we also should see which one of the Mustangs. And I think that Bass is now up in the lead. Will mix in the top 5. So we're going to look through the drivers' quick presentation. We have Gary Consulman, as you can see, from Pennsylvania. No mistake there, in a Mazda. Then we have Skippy. We have Frank von Borstel. He is new to the league, and we haven't seen him before, so we don't know really what to expect. Mark Figueras has been with us for many seasons in MX5. Gary Jackson also been with us many seasons in Skippy. Esposto Alfredo, new to this league, so we welcome you, of course. Daniel and Harris, new for the league also in Jetta. Paulius Dunaskas in MX5, also new to the league, welcome. Tori Tesla has been with us since the very beginning in MX5. Marcus Reichman Dayton here in MX5, also new from Sweden. Amadeo De Brito, also new in MX5. Arno Lalou in StecRacer, also new to the league. Ricky James has been with us since the dawn of time, also in StecRacer. Andy Morgan, also been with us from the start. Look at the nice color of his wheels, by the way. Custom painted car, the Flying Cow, we used to call this paint. Looks like a black and white cow hide. Adam Allen, also been with us pretty much from the start in a Skippy. Dwayne Bensinger, been with us from the start, almost, I think, just about in a Skippy also. Chris here is also in a Skip Barber, also a very nice custom paint. Fredrik Johansson, new also from this season from Sweden. Jürgen Peterson founded the series and also speaking at the moment. Richard Brightwell, think he did a couple of races last season, season before that in Jetta. Rune Soltveit from Norway, running the custom paint from last year's sponsor, MS Jetta Petter. David Granell, new to the league and in a Skip Barber. Karsten Rudolph, also new to the league in a Stanley-sponsored Mustang. Klaus Peterson, been with us also for a long time in a Mustang. And Bas Laab, we've been with us for a couple of seasons also in a Mustang. Man, back to the race. We're going to have a little bit of rerun here of the start also, just so that you can see how that went. We have a blinking car there also. So that's green light, and you can see that the Skip Barbers are not that quick off the line. They have a very long gearing. First gear is very, very long, so therefore the StecRacers catch up a little bit, and here it goes a little bit wide. Here we have this little incident with the Skippy and the StecRacer. The StecRacer just taps tiny bit on the left rear of the Skip Barber, and of course the open wheelers are very sensitive. And here they're going 3 wide up the hill, and then in to the first S combinations. But I must say that considering that many of the guys are not that experienced here, I think everything here worked out very well. Yeah, that looked good. Okay, let's move ahead up in the race. In this series, since all cars are doing different lap times, and we want this to be an even race, we have a handicap system. I didn't mention that before, but the handicap is based on lap times done during practice, and we use iSpeed to keep track of the laps done, so in the week prior to the race. So let's say that Baz here wants to get into a better position. He can get into one of the competing cars, let's say the Jetta, and do fast laps with that, so that is registered in the iSpeed data mart, and therefore his penalty will be less since he is going to be driving the Mustang. And it's the same for all drivers. They can get into either of the other 4 cars doing very good lap times in iSpeed, just to make his own position better when it comes to the pit stops. This works very, very well because everyone is eager to do their best for their own car, so to say. So the Mustang here now is going to have about 2-minute stop, and the Skip Barber is going to have somewhere around, I think it was 70 seconds or so. The Jetta stop was around 60 seconds, and the MX-5 about 20 seconds, and then the StecRacer is just having a stop and go. That's it. Then they're all gonna have to take fuel. The fuel is limited to about 70% of the race duration. So just so that it's gonna be so everyone have to take fuel. I doubt that anyone will take tires. You can untick that box if you can manage to do that while you're driving. There is an option for it, of course. So now we're going to have a look at the top. We're here at lap 5, so the stop and go penalties. The black flagging for that will launch just about any second now. So it's looking good for Baslob and Klaus Petersen and also Carsten Rudolph. They're keeping it tight together, so they're going to be in the top fight, I'm pretty sure. And David Grunhill is the fastest in the StecRacer. In the Skip Barber, so he's also going to be in the top 5-6, I'm pretty sure. Richard Brightwell also going to be in the top, and I know that because he's the fastest of the Jetta drivers, so he's bound to be up in the top. Jürgen Petersen, we'll see what he can do about it. He's the second fastest Skippy for now, so he might have something to do about it. We'll see. Also, luck plays in. Fredrik Johansson is pretty new to the race, to the league, and I don't know so far what he can do in the race. He's not far behind the others, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. So let's move up to the stop and goes. I should, of course, also mention that the Mazda that is in the best position right now is Tory Tesla, so of course you also have the chance, and right behind him is Brigade James, who is the fastest StecRacer at the moment. Now we move forward to the stop and goes. On lap 4, the black flagging was launched, and the first car to go into pits is Rune Soltveit, and since he's in a Mustang, he will be staying there for a little bit over 2 minutes. So we'll have a look at who comes in next. Next to go into pits is Adam Allen in Skip Barber. And from this camera view we can see that there is another car coming in also behind him. So we're going to have a look on who that is. Looks like it's Mazda MX-5. Yes, that's an MX-5. That's the flying cow Andy Morgan. Well, he's not the cow, the car is the cow. And here we see a strange view from underneath the car. A little bit of a graphics glitch there. On lap 5 we have one of the faster cars, Richard Brightwell, going into pits. Right behind him is Jürgen Petersen, who is now in a pretty good position to finish top 8 roughly. Richard goes into pits, so he will stay there for 50-60 seconds. So he will be off quite quickly. So we keep an eye on who next of the top potential drivers goes into pits. We see here Skippy behind Richard, and that is Fredrik Johansson. We'll keep an eye on him also. Right as Richard goes into pits, we saw before that by Jürgen Petersen behind him, and going through a rouge, Jürgen messes things up, loses control, crashes the car, ends up upside down. So he's pretty much gone from the top in this race. Torre Tesla, position 10, goes into pits. He's the MX-5 that was the highest up, I think. We'll have a look at that. Yes, I just scanned through the positions here, and Torre is the MX-5 that is in the best position at the moment. Well, I just also noticed that Andy Morgan in 17th position already did his pit stop. See, at his last lap time there is 4:14.6, so he will actually, I think that he will be moving up ahead of Torre. And behind Andy, Torre just exited, so you see Andy is ahead, and there passing Torre was Mr. Brito. I don't know how he pronounces his first name, Amadeo or Amadeo, or well, anything, Mr. Brito. So now we have Torre there, and we don't know what the positions are exactly now, but I would think that Torre should be down to 19th. So let's go back to the pits. Baslov is in on lap 6, and right behind him we have more Mustangs. That is Karsten Rudolph and Klaus Pedersen. They're close together still, and we'll see here if any one of them pits. And Bas goes into pits, so does Klaus, and right behind them is David Granil in the Skip Barber. So we'll see if he pits also. No, he carries on for a little longer, but the top drivers are pretty much into the pit stops, done their pit stops. A lap or two, I think they all have done them. So we're going to move ahead a little bit and have a look how it looks after the pit stops. We are up at lap 8, and there are still a few cars that are stretching it. Karsten Rudolph here has still not done his pit stop, and we have also one of the Skippies haven't. It turned out later that Karsten didn't actually get the stop and go penalty, so he's stopping here for fuel. So Karsten is just going to do a quick stop, and he's not going to do the 2-minute 3-second penalty that everyone else does. So he's going to be moved down a little bit more than 2 minutes after the finish. So we are going to have to discard his position in the race after this. Right behind him we have David Grunhill, and he did get his stop and go penalty. It's just that he has stretched it. You can go for roughly 4 laps before you serve the penalty, and it was launched on lap 5, and now we have lap 9, so it's 4 laps. Don't know for sure if that is the latest you can do it, if you can do on the 5th. I don't dare to say. But David here now is the last one to go into pits to serve his penalty. So when he gets out on track again, and when we have finished another lap, we will know more exactly who's in the top. What could be interesting now is to have a look at Baslov, since he was in the lead when he pitted. So we go and have a look now where he is. Bas is down to 11th position, and so now the question is if he is going to be able to fight his way back up and win the race. You can see him here after Urush on the straight, catching up a Mazda MX-5. And so we're up to 10, so we're going to have to look at the other top drivers and see where they are. Fredrik Johansson is the next car ahead of Bas, and we cannot see, still not see Bas behind. Fredrik here is going to catch up the MX-5, who is in front of him, and that is Mr. De Brito in MX-5, who will be caught by the Skippy from behind, of course. So ahead of Mr. De Brito we have Andy Morgan in MX-5 also, There you see Mr. DeBrito right behind him. We can't see any car in front of Andy from this camera view at least. So let's move up. Here we have Richard Brightwell. He's in 5th position. And there is a SpecRacer up ahead, which Richard will have no problem to overtake within the last, in the next couple of turns, probably before they reach Eau Rouge. He will overtake. Yeah, 4th position for Richard. And the car in front is Rick James in 3rd position. And there we see David Grunhill leaving pits. And there behind him we see the other 2 cars we just followed. So David now, as you can see, is in a very good position. He is faster than the SpecRacer, and the Skippy is in, and Richard, who is in the Jetta up ahead, they are pretty much equally matched. So I think that well, this will be interesting to see who will be the fastest of them 2. So Richard now, there says he's in 4th, but he is further ahead. We'll come back in next lap and have a look at that. We have Dwayne Bensinger, who had the incident on lap 1 right after the start. As we saw, he got tapped on the left rear. He's in 22nd. And Carsten Rudolph here now in lead, but he's actually not, because he didn't get the stop and go penalty, as I said. So let's see Richard here then when he comes back to the start finish line, and we have a closer look at the positions. Here we're coming up on the start finish line again, and it's well, it's very, very close. So well, they passed as Richard in 2nd and David in 3rd, but now they're switching positions again. So it's 1, 2, these 2 guys, and then we have Rick James in 3rd position then. So who is coming from behind? There's Andy Morgan in 4th. And I doubt that he will be able to catch the SpecRacer up ahead. That is Mr. Brito in 5th position. That is Frederick. Frederick will be able to catch the MX-5s up ahead, I'm pretty sure. And there is Baslav. So let's get into Baz's car and have a look at this from driver's seat. Riding along with Baz, going uphill, catching Frederick's Skippy, and but the Skippy is pretty fast through the bends, so he's going to need a little bit of a straight to overtake. And 2 more corners and we'll have a bit of a straight. We'll see if he can power past. I think he's a little bit too far behind. Might have to wait to the long straight. We have a little bit of a straight also, and Baz gets on the outside, so now he's up to well, 7th, but since we have 1 car in the lead that will be moved down, he's up to 6th. So up in front there we have the MX-5s of Mr. Brito and Andy Morgan. So I don't think that Baz will catch up with them yet for half a lap or so. So we move up to the cars number 1 and 2. David Granhill and Richard Brightwell are still fighting it out, neck to neck, fighting for first position. And I think this is what it's going to be like for the remainder of the race, which is not far, not much left of the race, probably just a lap or two. So here we have a fight, and behind them we have Ricky James in the StecRacer, and we don't see any car behind. But that should be the two MX-5s. There we have Andy Morgan, and you see Baslaub has already caught up and is overtaking Mr. Brito, and here he's overtaking. Oops, he got a little fender bender there, which causes rear suspension damage on Andy's car, and he has to retire, or at least he pulls over and takes a quick tow. Unfortunate, he was in a good spot there for a top 5 finish. Frederick now is down to 7th. So Bass now here should be up to 4th. So now the question is, will he be able to catch this guy, Ricky A. James, in the StecRacer? We don't see Bass behind, but he's in a car that is about 10 seconds quicker per lap. We are on the end of lap 11, and the cars up in the lead have had the black flag, and there we just saw Rick James in the StecRacer, who is the next car for Bass to try to catch. There we saw him again. So I think he's in it, but Bass's car is about 10 seconds faster. As we see on the lap times, he did a 2:49 last lap, and Rick did a 2:57, so it's 8 seconds. And I think that the distance between them is about 8 seconds. Rick is not going to be able to catch the cars up ahead. They're quicker for sure. So I think that Bass, there you see Bass coming. He's chasing, and there was the cars up ahead. There are another 8 seconds up ahead, I guess, 8-10 seconds or so. Richard is in second position, and David at the moment have a lead of about 20-30 meters. So we have 2 fights. Fights for the lead and fight for third. So it looks like David has this pretty safe. We'll see also when we come to the long backside straight, approaching bus stop, if the Jetta could catch up. Okay, let's go back to Bass. From inside Bass's car, we see Rick up ahead. We have 3-4 more corners, and then we have the long straight, and I'm pretty sure that Bass is going to catch him. That looked like an off-track, but doesn't really matter. The off-track limit is set to 14. And I think that Bass has saved a lot of them to be able to use them on the last lap, because that was another off-track, I think. So let's move up ahead. So it looks like David pulled away a little bit from Richard, and this is the last lap. So we're gonna have David winning the race, and right behind him is Richard. Congratulations, David. And let's see how it goes for Bass. On the end of the straight, approaching bus stop, Bass catches up. And here he goes very, very wide outside of the track, but that is actually okay. It's an off-track, but no slowdown penalty. So he passes, but Rick is not giving up. He's doing what he can to get a higher line and a better exit. Of course, he's lacking about 200 horsepower, so he can't power away from the Mustang. So there is Baz in third, well done, and also very well done from Rick, very good. And here we have in fifth position Fredrik Johansson, well done also. Mr. Brito finishes sixth, and then we really don't know how far down we're going to have to move the Mustang that didn't get the stop-and-go penalty, so the result list is not really accurate now. But here Jürgen Peterson, after his crash through Eau Rouge, finishes 7th or 8th. Here is Rune, who did the first stop and go, followed by Frank von Borstel and Adam Allen. Here's Klaus Peterson, who was in the fight for the top 3 positions for the first 5 laps. Mark Figueras, Daniel N. Harris, Dwayne Bensinger, also on the same lap as the winner. So as we look at the replay from Blimp View from the last race and reviewing David and Richard, we're going to look at the results. So Karsten here up in first position will be moved down, and he will finish somewhere around 10th or so. So this is the, just keep that in mind. So we have first position David Grunhill, then Richard Brightwell, Baz Lobb, Ricky James, Fredrik Johansson, Amadeo De Brito, Jürgen Peterson, Rune Soltveit, Frank von Borstel, Adam Allen, Klaus Peterson, Mark Figueras, Daniel Harris, Karsten there somewhere around 10th. Gary Conselman, Chris Pasternik, Paulus Donaskas, Andy Morgan, Tori Tesla, Marcus Reichman-Tainton, Dwayne Bensinger, Anola Lu, Gary Jackson, Esposto Alfredo, and I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm also sorry, Mr. Benoit. So thank you very much for watching this race, and if this is the popularity of this series continues, there will be more broadcasts. So thank you very much for watching.